All right, all right, all right. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, how you doing?
Good to
Great.
see you all. I mean, on such a delightful Saturday. There's so much that we need to engage on, and I hope I have a couple of ideas that can help you engage better, target your growth objectives better, become more efficient and effective, as well as identify what's in my way. Now, what's in my way is a big deal. What's in my way, because, in terms of growth, we always have to be tackling what's in my way. How can I grow? Why am I not growing? I mean, and moving that process forward. Now, I heard it said one time by a very esteemed and targeted and focused professional that, and you hear it from legal professionals and accounting professionals, and they use the hourly rate to determine, okay, how much am I making per hour? What is my earn per hour? What is my burn per hour? And which is very important because when you think about it, if I'm trying to get to 80 an hour, 150 an hour, 250 an hour, then I really need to be conscious of my time. I really need to be conscious of my time. And quite frankly, I can't waste my time, and I can't let other people waste my time. So the achievement factor with that is if you're at 60 an hour and you're trying to double that rate to 120 an hour, then I really need to be conscious of, I mean, what's my earn, what's my burn, I mean, and typically when you think about earning money and you think about what's burning your money. Now, you don't, I mean, and if you're like I am, it's all about client services. You have to sit in front of people who pay the bills. Yeah, and you have to be talking with people who make the difference in the growth objectives. So and when it comes down to, but then if you're in a selling condition, then and people establish a reputation with you. They see who you are, and they ask particular distinctions about how do I get there? How do I get there? Now it's all about reputation. It's all about reputation, and it's all about your background and experience. So let's say you're seeing the average professionals can only see maximum about 100 people a day, maximum 100 people a day. Now, how do you get to seeing 100 people a day? Man, you got to be zooming and booming. You got to be zooming and booming. I mean, and you've got to be distinguishing. And one, two, you have to have built up a great reputation. You have to have a great reputation. That means your ideas and your solutions work. It's proven, it's established, and it's identified that what I'm suggesting to you, because if you're telling a person that I can go from 60 an hour to 120 an hour, now, that means my ideas have to really be blowing smoke. They got to be blowing smoke. As a matter of fact, they got to work. They got to work. So I mean, so okay. So let's say, how do you get from and typically, how do you get from 60 an hour to 120? That means you got to maximize the number of people that you're seeing. That means you can't 20 people a day. Nah, you're not gonna make the 60 120 an hour. So that means you've got to find some kind of way to blow up your reputation. To blow up your reputation. Your reputation has to count. And people have to understand that, that and ideas, like, okay, if I bring an idea today for you, and we'll talk about that, and I won't take up much time with you. If I bring an idea to you today with how you can maximize your time spend, then these ideas have to be, how can I put it? They have to be swept. They have to be swept and cleaned. Swept, cleaned, and deliverable. So that means you're talking to people, and I talked with a professional about 3 weeks ago, and I talked to actually the medical professional. And I talked to a medical professional about 3 weeks ago. Now, in talking with the medical professional, his ideas were good, but his colleague has ideas that were time swept. That means that he could charge 3 times the hourly rate, and because he, for the most part, is what you would call an expert. An expert. So okay. How many of you guys would rather see an expert rather than, an average consultant? Tell me. Tell me. Raise your hands. Would you have would you rather see an expert?
Not even a question.
Forward.
Yeah, So do you have a question?
No, no, I was just saying, absolutely. We all have so much time a day, and why waste it with somebody
Right.
that really hasn't been there or hasn't experienced any success?
See, this professional I first talked to, and because I had done my own research, and then and his research didn't match my research, and so I came to understand, okay, he's not the expert I need to talk to. But if you can become the expert, that means your ideas are time swept. Time swept. We know what can work. We know what will work. And we know if you'll listen to me, I'll take you further down the road than you've ever gone before. And if I'm talking to you, I'm going to help you get down the road faster. It's kind of like, you ask someone for directions and they say to you, well, I don't know. I think you can go to the right and go straight, and that will get you there. Okay, that tells me right there I need to talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about. And then you say, can you tell me how to get here? No, 3 lefts and a right, 5 minutes. You be there. The turning point is here. Now, man, you're talking to a person who knows how to get there. You're talking to a person who knows how to get there. And so you want to follow their instructions. So I want to help you understand. And now we're in the game, man. We're in the game. We're in the game and we need to play the game. And the game says, I can't waste no time. I can't waste no time because your ideas count. They count. And so, and you need to be putting your ideas together so that you can get where you need to be faster, sharper, without limited interference. And so I'm sharing this with you, and I have a series on that. And how to get you from 60 an hour to 120 an hour. That means also now another point with that, you have to be dealing with customers who are willing to pay a higher rate. They got to pay a higher rate. And if you're trying to sell a customer on a higher rate, then they don't understand the value of your expertism. They don't understand the value of your expertism. And you ask the customer on the phone before you make the appointment. Are you willing to pay the best rate? Are you willing to get the best result? Is that where you are? Or are you just running along based on finance? Okay, that's fine. But and these are real questions, real observations. And your discussions with your clients, ask the question, what's your base rate? What's your base rate? What are you willing to pay for these services? What are you willing to pay? And at the end of the day, how important is great result to you? How important is great result to you? Now, hey, I'm at the point where I can't waste any time, man. And I need to know that what you're discussing with me or sharing with me will deliver. Will deliver. Have you had that kind of conversation with people before? I mean, you could talk to three or four people. You know, always been told get three get three referrals, get three references, and so and when you're talking to the first two, and then you use each to measure each other. Now, and when you talk to the last, and they say to you, bam, 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 bam. I know what I'm doing. I've done it enough times. What I'm telling you will deliver. It will deliver. I bet my professionalism on it. I bet my reputation on it. Man, right there, he sold me. They've sold me because they've understood that their reputation counts and they're trying to deliver the best objectives they can for you. And so this is just a 3 minute run. This is where I'm thinking. This is where I'm thinking today. And I want to help you get there. And I want to help cultivate a series about that, but now the average Joe, Joe, I'm not trying to say it's on you, but the average Joe is not there. They're not there. So how do we get there? How do we get there? I'm trying to go from 60 to 120 an hour. 60 to 120 an hour. It's kind of like driving on the Autobahn. You know, on the US speed limit is 55 miles per hour on some highways and byways, but on the Autobahn, it's 120 mph. 120. And so everybody's driving at the speed they're driving, and they understand that, I can get there at the speed I'm at. So I want to help you understand how important it is and how important it is to start thinking about these things. How do we start thinking about these things? Now it's not the typical thought process, but we need to be there. We need to be there. We need to be there. And so, and primarily understanding that the distinction between 60 and 120 have to do with reputation, and customers that are willing to pay for a higher stake in reputation. Does that make any sense?
Of course.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good. Any questions? Any questions?
Not for me.
Okay. Reginald, I can't hear you. I see your lips moving. You're saying something.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay, great, great. I'll just take this headset off. I think it's what you stated is very, very, very important. And I've definitely found in business that there's a saying. It said that saying is amateurs try to convince, but professionals are the ones who sort. The ones who are sorting, they know what their game is. They're good at it. They're confident at it. They know what they've got to do. They know what their capabilities are, and they know what they're going to be able to deliver. And positioning oneself as the expert is vital and critical no matter what type of business you're in. It's paramount to get the kind of success that you want, and that expertise does drive the train. When you know that you know that you know, it's a totally different ball game than to say, well, I think I know. No, I think I know is not going to get a client base.
Nope,
It simply won't. But if you know that you know and get that track record, then people you won't have to look for anybody. People come looking for you, and
right.
that's what I found that's so very important, and that produces that quality that is so very important. And the last point that I'll make: when that person is a professional, they're confident in their skills and they're on their game. There's not going to be any hesitation. And that hesitation was gone a long time ago because they come forth with it. And they know that, hey, this is what I offer. I either have what you need and I can help you. And if I can help you, this is what we can accomplish. Or I cannot help you and maybe someone else can do that. But either way, when a professional comes with the strongest game, they can always offer their services to the highest bidder. And it comes with that expertise and confidence that comes with that. That's my time.
I don't care if this is about painting widgets. If you painted enough widgets, you know the amount of time it costs to paint each widget, and you know what the expert withdrawals are for painting widgets. So you know how to get to the widget to finish the widget, and when it's finished, it's done to absolute perfection. Absolute perfection. And so, but you know, if you're talking to people who don't know widgets and they can't deliver on the widget finish, then don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. I mean, you know, you can. It's not a question of arrogance or a question of There's nothing like that. I mean, we're in the game to play, and we're in the game to win, and we're also we got to finish big and finish strong, and finish strong. So I encourage you now. We all adults, and we have to find a better way, a better way to deliver, a better way to deliver. And so I encourage you to think about this and also to draw a map, a road map about what I need to do to get from 60 to 120. And maybe it has to do with the directions that I take. Maybe it has to do with the tools that I use. Or maybe you have to talk to people who've been in the game for a while and they know. Maybe they're set up that way, but these are things that I like for you to engage with doing and try them at least for some time. All right. So that's my spiel.
Discoverbrightside.com.
Discoverbrightside.com. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So,
Thank you.
Joseph Sanchez, would you like to make a conclusion and I'll stop recording?
No, not really. You mean about what Elton spoke or what I spoke about?
Well, everybody spoke. It's your show. Yeah.
No, I mean some very good advice from people that know what they're talking about from experience. Like everything else, we have to consider things outside our comfort zone, and that's how we grow. If you're doing something that you're comfortable, you're not going to really grow, and you're not going to just be a better person. It takes some pain to grow. As I used to tell one of my family members when he was younger, I says, every time that you get into an area, and he was probably about 11 or 12 when I started telling him this. I said, anytime you get into an area that you know nothing about and you feel a little lost, that's good. Your brain is stretching. And that is the key word. Your brain is stretching. And with it, you get more confidence. So, yeah, I wholeheartedly, the reason why I read sometimes things that I would never read for that same idea or talk to someone that is not in my industry. I'm always looking for a little granite. And if I speak to anybody and I learn one thing that's new, it's worth it. So that's kind of the way I
am. Daniel has a question.
Actually, it's not a question so much, Elizabeth, as a comment to basically build on what has been talked about in the last few minutes. Number one, I completely agree with Joseph about getting out of your comfort zone to stretch your muscles. The reason I'm a CMC, which is a certified management consultant, is because it's a differentiator. It's less than 1% of all the management consultants in the world are certified. That forced me to go beyond my comfort zone and to prove my expertise. Second point is, once you do it well enough, long enough, and you get most of your business from your existing customers on direct referrals, which is, I'm looking at my whiteboard now of clients, that's when I know, okay, somebody figured out, I know what the heck I'm talking about. And that makes the biggest difference.
Right. So that means that while you typically or previously have had to go looking for people, now people are looking for you. People are looking for you. They're looking for you because you know the game, you know the details, and you know where the pitfalls are. And they would rather spend 20 minutes with you than 20 minutes with, the average professional. Very good, very good. You guys are top shelf. Top shelf.
Okay.
I just want to answer real quick. I believe in humor. It's worked for me.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, but I have a saying when we get into situation, whatever that's not clear, I'll say confusion is not a wonderful thing.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
Anyway, that's it.
Yeah. No, no, you're right. You're right. I mean, and when you when you sit down and talk to a professional for the first 15 minutes and and then you come to the conclusion, man, this guy doesn't know, you know, apples from Applejack.
Well, the next thing is to be, how the heck do I get out of this conversation?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. So,
All right. So anyone wants to say anything? Reginald, any comments?
I disagree with everything that's stated. When you're professional, how you do things is important. Getting and to Daniel's point, you've got to get out of your comfort zone in order to be the best and be able to have the client base that the average professional will not have. So that's a very great thing. Yeah, that's true. CMC, not a lot of people have that. So when you see that behind your name, that is saying something indeed.
mhm.
All
So,
right.
so one last point with that. How do we move from being, the typical consultant to the expert? To the expert. When a customer sits with you and they understand that you know what problems or pitfalls they could face, and you know what they need to be doing now. And it's so funny because and you tell a customer, "Don't do this. Do this." When you tell a customer, "Don't do this," but whatever you do this. You're giving them the kind of advice and direction that they know you know what you're talking about. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Awesome,
Well,
awesome.
thank you all for giving up your Saturday. And I think we'll call this the Saturdays with Joseph Sanchez. Don't
Uh-oh.
forget to download your free books at penmanmediallc.com. And you're watching Discover Brightside. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.